listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, where is it?
You know better than that.
Wait a second. That's not what I was looking. There it is.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Our repeat offender, Jay Kaplan, the reverse mortgage guru, is in the house. Welcome, Mr. Kaplan.
It's a pleasure to visit my parole officer every now and then.
Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, we're celebrating today. It's a great one that we're going to celebrate. No, not that it is National Battery Day. Having beaten anorexia. I don't know about this one, Jay. Today's also National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day.
Wow.
It sounds a little, that's too healthy for me. So
Flounder brings back old memories from the East, from the East Coast.
Does it?
And now I see that Popeye's Chicken has a flounder sandwich.
Flounder sandwich. Well, with all of those things being said, I'm just going to look and go right to, if anybody's as a regular listener of Ron Siegel Radio, you can probably guess what I am celebrating today, because Thursday is the new Friday, and today, National Drink Wine Day. Isn't that every day? I question that. I mean, I guess we could celebrate it today. I celebrate it every day. And as I look ahead, tomorrow's Chocolate Mint Day and tartar sauce. I don't know. So,
well, it goes with flounder. It should be today.
Yeah, exactly. How do you? The flounder will probably be bad by the time the tartar sauce gets here. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's move right along. Hey, what's going on in the markets today? Dow Jones Industrial Average down 279 points. S&P 500 down 39. NASDAQ down 201. Oil up another penny. It keeps on going up. What does that mean to you and to me? Well, the national average of a gallon of gasoline, $2.57.5. Would you like to pay $2.20.5? Not here in Calizuela. That's the price in Mississippi. How about $2.63? No, you have to go to Arizona for that one. $2.84. Strike. Is that strike 3 or strike 4? That's Nevada. $2.84. Hey, if you can swim, you can get gasoline in Hawaii at $3.39. But in Calizuela, the average, $3.50 a gallon. $3.50 a gallon. Again, add more taxes. Who's the penalty? That's how we get the working people and lower income people, I guess, to pay their fair share, because that's where so much of the money is in Calizuela is going to the taxes. 10-year Treasury up a little bit today. Not a whole lot to speak about. What else is going on? Why is the market down so much? The question there. Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. And it all comes down, believe it or not, it comes down to the largest company in America. When their stock drops, so does the market. Apple down $2.93 a share right now. They are weighing down the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is a market-weighted average, right? So if Apple's got the largest valuation of any company I think it's in the world. So they're going down 293. They have a big weighted percentage of the Dow Jones. They're also a significant part of the NASDAQ. So both averages being way down are as a result mostly of Apple. Microsoft's down $3, so that's not helping anything either. Uber down $2. Well, you see a lot of what's going on in the market. Does it surprise anybody that the market is going to be down? No. Because even though we've seen some good earnings, there's still a lot of problems in the marketplace. What are the problems in the marketplace? Well, it has a lot to do with something that was a carryover from the last administration, right? So the more stimulus we have going, the bigger the problem is. Why would I say something like that? Well, if you take a look, we had the numbers came out this morning, and we have jobless numbers that came out. The jobless numbers, if I can find them, showed that we lost another, 800,000 jobs, 861,000 people filed for unemployment benefits last week, 861,000. Yet the number of job openings is up. Think about that. So if the job opening number, that would be a report called the JOLT report. So if job openings are up, why is it that people are still filing first-time unemployment claims? Why is it that the continuing claims are staying? Well, it's pretty simple. There's two options here. Number one, people will do in America, not everywhere. I mean, in China, they do what they're told to do. In America, people do what they're incentivized to do, right? So if you're incentivized to stay home because you make more money by staying home, why would you go back to work? I will tell you firsthand, right? My son, he works at Disneyland, and for a time period in July, when they wanted to go back last year, the union said, no, we don't want to go back. Yeah, they did it safely in Hong Kong and Florida and all the other parks, but no, California, they didn't want to go back because a vast majority of the people were making significantly more money on unemployment than they were making working. Why would you want to go back, right? My son was getting, $600 a week extra above his normal unemployment by staying away. So if you're going to make that staying away, won't you stay away? Of course. And that's why the jobs report comes out saying there's more jobs available, but people don't want to take them.
I think, and I don't mean to jump in, but I think people like yourself, Ron, and like me, we would go back to work because the activity itself is our life.
You're 100% correct. There is a portion of the population, and I've said that right now, even today, right? So the administration, Congress, looking at, depending upon the report you see, $300 or $400 or $500 in a extra benefit above and beyond the normal unemployment. I look at it and say, you know something? My son would qualify for that. But if they open up the park and he can go back to work and leave that on the table, he's going to go back to work, and that's going to put him one step ahead of all the people that say, you know something, for the family. And I understand it, because if you're a working class individual, or if you're an undocumented individual, you have to take what's the benefit to you, right? You would be a fool not to take an extra $2,400 a month plus your unemployment instead of going back to work for, $2,000, $3,000 a month. You have to do that. There's that group of people that are fortunate enough that that's not their method of survival, right? There's that group of people that It's the entry-level individual. It's the person that's learning how to work. That's what minimum wage is for. It's not a living wage. It's a minimum wage for somebody to go and get experience and take the opportunity. I was listening to some of the commentary last night, and I know some people that are in Calizuela probably have no idea who this is, but a man named Rush Limbaugh passed away yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And he started without much money in Missouri and became uber wealthy. Right? And I mean, there's a lot of charities that nobody knows about. They started coming out yesterday after he passed away that he gave money to and he supported and he wanted it to be anonymous. Right? But only in America can something like those rags to riches stories happen. And even though we have a lot of problems here, and we'll all grant the fact there's a lot of problems here, still, where would you rather be? I throw that out there for your consideration. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, retirement planning using your mortgage. I talk about it all the time. Will low mortgage rates continue through 2021? Right. New numbers came out today. We've got that featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, at Ron Siegel, no longer. Or on YouTube, if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next loan, Geneva has the programs and the products. Text My Home Mortgage to 79564. My Home Mortgage is 79564. Find out about all those products. Just looked at a scenario for a private client last night, and they were buying a $300,000 house. Total out-of-pocket expense was about $7,000. Think about that. $7,000 total out of pocket. Now, if you go to rent a property, Orange County, maybe, I'm not sure about the Inland Empire, but think about that. You go to rent a property, how much money are you going to have to bring out of pocket? First month, last month, right? In this scenario, they're looking at, I think, $7,000, their first mortgage payment. If they went into contract tomorrow, they wouldn't have their first mortgage payment until the beginning of April. Think about that. Maybe even May, depending upon when they close. Hey, let's look at what the markets are doing. The Dow Jones now down 242 points. NASDAQ down 172 points. We're looking at the mortgage-backed securities. We're looking at the S&P 500 down 40, 10-year Treasury down 1 basis point. Mortgage-backed securities down a little bit. Why, though? All those numbers are right there on Google.com. You can find out what I'm going to tell you right now if you go to Google.com also. You just won't know where to find it. So yesterday's bond auction, the 20-year bond, very weak, which is surprising when interest rates have been going up so much in the last week or so. But I guess the bond market, they're thinking that interest rates are going to continue to go up, which means the bond would go down. So we watch that for you. The Fed minutes reiterated what we heard from Chairman Powell last week. The economy is far from where it needs to be, and the easy policy will not change. Does that surprise anybody?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Right? Powell said he's not going to have a recession on his watch. Janet Yellen never saw a giveaway she didn't like. So we got it going right there. Housing starts down 6% in January, down 2.3% year over year. The most important figure to track for our business is single-family starts, which are down 12% month over month, but are up 17.5% year over year. Maybe the weather has something to do with some of these starts. Positive side, permits were up 10.4%. Permits, they're up 22.5% year over year. I already told you a little bit about the first unemployment numbers. National Association of Home Builders measures builder confidence rose 1 point in February to 84. Bit stronger than expectations right there. So continuing claims, I didn't tell you about that one. Continuing claims, those that continue, it's decreased by 64,000 to 4.5 million people. 4.5 million people. That is a painful number of people that are, yeah, that's painful. The total number of continued benefits in all programs for the week ending January 30th, 18.3 million people, down 1.3 from the previous week. So we're still looking. Now, remember, I told you that. Chairman Powell came out a few days after we told you. We're probably at about 9.9% unemployment if you look at real numbers right now. And one other number that I'm going to give you before we chat with our friend Jay Kaplan is today, Freddie Mac came out with their mortgage numbers, up 0.8%, 8 basis points. Last week it was 2.73 was the 30-year fixed rate. Freddie Mac's number 2.81 today. Got to pay almost a point to get it, 0.75 of a point to get that 2.81 number. but we're still significantly below last year, same week, 3.49, and you had to pay 7/10 then also. So what is that? 19, probably about almost 3/4 of a point cheaper today than it was. And if you were listening to us on Monday, which you should, or Tuesday, which you should have been, right? I've got the bookends here, I should say. So Monday we did Tuesday we did our millennial show. I keep saying Monday because we usually do it on Mondays, and it was a holiday this week. But we did a millennial show on Monday, and she only read in a history book about double-digit inflation. Jay Kaplan, he was out there. He lived double-digit inflation. He was actually one of the first people in the world to ever have a mortgage. That would have been, in the 17th century, maybe, Jay?
Yeah, I took over this house that I'm still living in with a 15% first trust deed and added a 19% second.
Holy cow. And today we talk about, interest rates are up to 2.81. Right, that's a spread between your two, Jay, right?
A little bit, yeah.
That's amazing. So that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next loan, text My Home Mortgage to 79564. My Home Mortgage, no spaces, to 79564. So one of the other sides, so we talked to the millennial side early in the week. We talked to the senior side the end of the week. Both sides, though, I'm going to share with you one of the most important parts for both. Strategy beats rate always. And I've been having this discussion with a close family member, and I made a comment earlier in the week, and I don't remember what day it was, but Jay's been doing this maybe even longer than me. There's not a whole lot of people that come on the broadcast that have been doing it longer than me. I got into this back in the 90s. Jay probably did it. I was in the 1990s. He was in the 1890s. We were both in the 90s.
Yeah.
But the concept was, Jay, you've done traditional mortgages. Now you do reverse mortgages. In the traditional world, have you ever seen a time when somebody was absolutely desperate that they could go and get a new loan? It's probably tough.
Yeah, it's tough. No.
Yeah, right. We lend money to people who want money for the most part. We don't lend people that need money. But
no, unless, and this is what slowed me down at first on the thing was, because I used to do lots and lots of purchases.
Right.
So from a purchase point of view, I guess they could feel like they need that.
But they're not desperate, right? I mean, they had an option.
Right.
It wasn't a desperation situation. It wasn't like you were injured, out of work, no hope to get another job, and you go to the bank and said, I want to get a second mortgage because I've got a lot of equity in my house. The guy at the traditional bank is going to start laughing, right?
Right.
But what I want to talk to you about today is if you are that senior, 62 years of age or older, and you've got equity in your property, and you say, something, I'm really healthy. I don't need to even think I've got equity, or maybe I've paid off my house. I just saw a stat the other day, 32% of the mortgages in the homes in America have no mortgage at all.
Wow. Okay. What's that again? Say that again.
32% of the homeowners in America have no mortgage at all.
And I know somebody that thinks of that as putting all your equity in a coffee can and burying it in the backyard. What's that guy's name again?
I don't know, but he does a little radio show every day.
Yeah.
But the concept here is, Jay, is what do we do about preparing, right? If you're a senior, you never know when that mishap is going to come.
Never, ever.
Right? I mean, and I don't want to get too personal, but heck, Jay, you and I a year ago, we wouldn't have known that you were going to lose so much weight, right?
Right.
But you took action several years ago, and what you preach is what you did, right? Proactively, you I'm not sharing anything personal because you've shared it online many times.
Sure.
You went and got a reverse mortgage yourself.
Absolutely. You got to practice what you preach, right?
Right. And because of that, and I don't know, I shouldn't say because of that, but it takes one less piece of stress off of your family when you don't have to, when you have an optional mortgage payment.
Exactly. And I love it when you say optional.
Right? Because you could make that payment every month if you want to.
Yes.
Or if it's strategically logical to.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right? There's a lot of people right now that are taking their mandatory distributions, their retirement distributions. Right? If I put that into my to the properly structured reverse mortgage, I can make that payment today. And how soon could I reuse that money, Jay?
Anytime you want.
Anytime I want.
Anytime you want. And, you know, you're bringing something wonderful up in that a reverse mortgage is really nothing different than that traditional mortgage, except that it has, quote, add-ons, which give you the possibility to use those add-ons whenever you feel like it. So you're getting the same type of loan you got before, but now you have so many more options, so many more choices. Take them when you strategically need them. Don't if you don't want to. So you have everything you always had before, but now you have more.
So I want to talk about some of the options when we come back and continue our conversation with Jay Kaplan. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We'll also talk about mortgage rates. Will they continue to be low through 2021? And we've got a featured home brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number is 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel. But if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel lending team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest, 79564. Find that dream home. Will low mortgage rates continue through 2021? That's the question. Mortgage interest rates hitting record lows so many times recently. Some are wondering if we'll see low rates continue throughout 2021 or if they'll start to rise. Recently, Freddie Mac released their quarterly forecast, noting, quote, the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage hit a record low over a dozen times in 2020, and the low interest rate environment is projected to continue through this year. We expect interest rates to average below 3% through the end of 2021, while this is a modest rise from 2020 averages. The recent vote by the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates anchored near zero should keep interest rates low, unquote. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or the ABC News and Talk KMET AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart that I'm sharing right now. Freddie Mac is projecting low rates going forward with a modest rise that's expected to continue through 2022. Freddie Mac isn't the only authority forecasting low rates with a slight rise. Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, the National Association of Realtors also anticipate low rates with a small increase as 2021 continues on. And we've got a quarterly breakdown I'm going to share with you on our socials a little later, but it is important to note that while a small change in interest rates can have a substantial impact on monthly mortgage payments, these rates are still incredibly low compared to where they were just a couple of years ago. What does this mean for buyers, though? Low mortgage rates are creating an outstanding opportunity for current home buyers to get more for their money while staying within their budget. As the economy gets stronger and we recover from the challenges of 2020, it's natural for rates to potentially rise in response to a healthier economy. Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, reminds us, quote, while rising interest rates reduce house buying power and affordability, but are often a sign of a strong economy, which increases home buyer demand. By any historic standard, today's mortgage rates remain historically low and will continue to boost house buying power and keep purchasing demand robust. With low rates fueling activity among hopeful buyers, there are a lot of people who are highly motivated and looking for homes to purchase right now. In this environment, can be challenging to find a home to buy, so a local real estate agent will be key. I shared with you yesterday, if you remember, there are, or maybe it was Tuesday, there are people that are offices, real estate offices, that somehow the properties are sold at the same time as they hit the market. Don't know how that works, but it does. If you're ready to buy a home, might be wise to make a move. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with a great real estate professional anywhere in the sound of my voice. Speaking of great real estate professionals, Jay Kaplan is in the house. We're talking to our reverse mortgage guru. So we were chatting before the break. For those that missed it, shame on you. But we were talking with Jay a little bit about this concept of, in fact, I can't get my screen to come up. Just the idea of options within mortgages.
Right.
One of the options that rarely gets discussed, unless you are a regular listener of Ron Siegel Radio, is the fact that even, we hear some people talking right now that, hey, something, interest rates are low. I got my reverse mortgage 4 years ago, and it's a set it, forget it. And then all of a sudden, you start getting these solicitation calls.
Wow.
Do you lower your interest rates? And they don't know anything about your property. I'm going to recommend to you that never happens with Ron Siegel Radio, right? Because we have a program where you're constantly getting recommended or advised of what the options are. So, Jay, can somebody refinance a reverse mortgage to?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And, you know, I don't say that everybody needs to. They don't. They don't. It just depends on what you're looking for and what's the most important part of that reverse mortgage. I get at this household 3 to 5 letters every day soliciting that. Now, of course, like you said, Ron, they know nothing about the property. They know nothing about the value. They know nothing about whether I would get more cash or not. The thing is they think that I may be able to because I've had a reverse mortgage for several years, and therefore we get solicited. But, you know, I would recommend call Ron instead. Ron will set you up with either myself, whatever. Will give you an absolute rundown on what is possible and what is not possible and why you should do it. And if not, believe me, we'll tell you why not at the same time. So, but it's definitely worth looking at because the lower the rate, the older you are, the higher the value of the property, the more benefit you can get. And when you get more benefit, you're not losing any of your old benefits either. So, we're going to take it for granted properties have gone up. And I think, Ron, I'll need your help on this one, but probably those borrowers that got a reverse mortgage several years ago are probably older now than they were then. And so, I would suspect that's very possible. And then what are you going to use the money for? Remember,
wait a second. Go ahead. Go backwards because I'm a simple guy. What's the difference if they're older?
It's just that the amount of benefit is predicated on current interest rates, value of the property, and the age of the youngest person who is getting the loan or on title, whatever, the youngest person. So as that goes up, that is the age, the benefit also goes up. And of course, just lately, FHA has an increase in their amounts, which also go to help increase your benefit. And that benefit is cash, possibly. You don't have to take benefit. The benefit is there for you. It unleashes your equity. It doesn't mean you're taking it. And one thing you said, and I don't know if you want to talk about this much, but on the very first segment of today's show, you brought something up that I think is so important, and that was being able to use your housing wealth, which of course you don't have unless you go buy a house, is to use your housing wealth to help finance your retirement. And I think at the first segment of the show, you weren't necessarily talking about older retired people, but it doesn't have to be older retired people. It includes everyone.
Yeah, that's a big point right there, Jay. So it all goes back into the concept of having the right strategy. Why? I know everybody needs a place to live.
Yes.
But why buy the house in the first place? What was the purpose that you had when you bought that property? Well, if it was part of it was a finance, are you making use of that part of the strategy?
Exactly.
Right? You're having it available, right? I mean, even if you don't take it, Jay, you made a great point there. Like in the last year, I read that I shared that with you a little earlier today. And we did it certainly on Tuesday, how much more equity people have in their properties right now than they had a year ago or 2 years ago. So if you took out a reverse mortgage 3 years ago, your equity has grown faster than the equity portion of the reverse mortgage. Your age is absolutely 2 years or 3 years greater than it was before.
Yeah, we haven't found a way to stop that yet.
Yeah, nobody seems to. There's only one way out.
Yeah.
So you've got equity increased, you've got interest decreased, and you're older.
Yes.
That's like a recipe for significant benefits. And again, I'm not saying it's right for everybody. Jay didn't say it's right for everybody, and he's the guru, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's part of our team at Ron Siegel Radio, right? Because it wasn't his good looks, I can promise you. It's because he's so good at reverse mortgages. But he and I both have faces for radio. But the concept here is everybody needs the consultation. What do you charge for a consultation, Jay?
$0.
Yeah, so how can you go wrong? We're going to talk more with Jay Kaplan when we come back. Options. What are the options in a reverse mortgage? We're going to talk about that. You can reach me anytime off your number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel, and if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you.
Copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL number 0186945.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations and MLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And the featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Who's got the featured home? Where is the featured home? Bring it on, guys. Yeah, there it is. 519 West Cage Avenue. John Perez. It's Fullerton. 4 bedrooms and a full bath and 3/4 of a bath. Amazing opportunity to be a multifamily home or to run a family daycare in the desirable city of Fullerton. Unique home sits on a quiet cul-de-sac. Has a huge driveway that is able to host multiple vehicles or RV parking. Entering the home, you're greeted by large tile flooring throughout, high ceilings, and an open floor plan. The kitchen features granite counters, custom cabinets, and a breakfast bar. I like the bar. Dining and living area flows nicely together, making this space open. All that could be yours if the price is right. $675,000. Let's look at some financing options. 3.5% down. Your principal and interest payment is $26.19. Put 20% down. Your principal and interest payment is $22.77. Put 25% down following the right strategy. Your payment is $2,000 a month. What are you paying for rent? And oh yes, if you are keeping score, that's an APR of 3.60, 3.058, and 2.715 NMLS 217037. Got to keep those compliance people happy. That is the featured home. Again, John Perez has the property. Give our friends at Geneva a call for the financing. 519 West Gage Avenue. I'd be happy to put you in touch with any of them. Again, that's the featured home segment brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. So we're continuing our conversation this morning with Jay Kaplan. He is our reverse mortgage guru. We're chatting about reverse mortgages. What else were we talking about, Jay Kaplan? So, I was just thinking about that property, Jay, and it said about using it for daycare or whatever.
Yeah. And that's one thing. Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm a senior and I want to move into that property, am I allowed to rent out rooms?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so as long as I'm living there, I can rent out rooms.
Yes.
And my mortgage payment is still optional.
Absolutely, but of course, the income you get from any rental part is yours. It's definitely not optional. It's yours, unless they're going to let us move in for nothing. You and me,
There we go. And so it's just one of the other part is as we were chatting about earlier is strategy, right? So that's part of just anybody's home loan strategy. You just have to decide what you're doing so you can go.
But normally when we talk about it, we're talking about the strategy for a reverse mortgage for someone to help them through retirement. Let's look at the other side now. Let's look at the affluent people, or if you're not affluent, at least you can have that bottle of wine 2-3 times a day, no problem.
I like that.
Yeah, and because you can actually increase your legacy, increase your longevity, perhaps, as far as healthcare is concerned. Especially in this time of the COVID or whatever, I think people are stopping to look to pivot, and pivot doesn't mean make changes. It means looking around you. So I had a great Valerie Van de Silver was on the show last week, and I think of her as the pivot lady. And one thing she brought up was that retired people can and should be taking money from their home, which is just sitting there, and with a value, the home of the value is increasing all the time anyway, and buy some rental property to increase their everyday income. And that rental property, you can buy a rental property. You can pay cash for it and have no payment on it whatsoever. So you have no payment on your current home. You have no payment on the rental property, but you're still getting rent. And we spoke of things like we brought up other areas, not just the highest price Southern California property. We brought up area. Yeah.
I gotta back up a second because I'm a simple guy. So I can take money. I've got a nice house in Orange County.
Uh-huh.
I own it free and clear, or I've got a small mortgage on it.
Correct. Sure.
I can take money out of that and buy another piece of property.
Absolutely. And I mean, we talked about areas like Cincinnati or Nashville. Okay, where you could buy 3 or 4 units. I'm sure that there are areas, though, closer, Coachella Valley areas, not the biggest, big time areas, but many, many areas that you could still buy 2, 3, or 4 units. And the amount of money you're getting on those units are easily paying for a property manager. We're not putting you to work. You're not having a lot of work to do, but we're giving you now more equity in 2 homes or even a 3-plex and your home. Now you actually own more real estate. You own more equity going forward. Your income has probably now increased quite a bit, and your legacy to your children has done the same. And of course, go ahead.
Let's think about this or take it the next step, Jay. So I'm just going to throw some numbers out there. I've got a $750,000 house here in Orange County. I take $350,000 out of that property. I go and I buy 2 properties at $175 each in Indio. And now I'm about $1,500 to $1,800 a month in rent on each of those properties.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually, if I wanted to, because I don't want to at this stage of life, I really don't want to start investing and taking any risk.
Right.
So I can take that $1,500 or $3,000 a month because I'm already collecting my Social Security, my retirement benefits, and my taking money out of my 401k and whatnot. I could actually put that $3,000 in rental income back into my reverse mortgage until I accumulate enough money to buy the next piece of property. Is that a strategy we could use?
Absolutely. It's one of so many more choices that you now have. And again, we're not concentrating on just those, quote, people in need. And God bless all the people in need we can help also. But this should be for across the board.
So let's continue our math homework here, Jay. On that $750,000 property that appreciates at 5%. Am I right that that's $37,500 per year? Hypothetically, we don't know exact.
No.
Now, if I leave my $350 in there, it's going to grow at $37,500 a year. If I take that out, it grows $37,500 a year. Am I right so far?
You are right.
Now, if we bought those 2 pieces of property at $175 each, that's $350 total. And if I take that $350 total times 5%, that's another $17,500.
Yep.
Right. So now we're at 53,000. Is that 54,000? 55,000? 55,000 a year in appreciation as opposed to 37,500. So that's the legacy you were just talking about.
Yep. And you don't have to be a big time investor, real estate investor to do this. And as Ron will tell you, what's the best investment anyway overall?
Right. And I don't know the exact numbers. I think for under 10%, so under $150 on each of those properties, you can hire a property manager so you don't get those phone calls at the end of the day.
Exactly. Even if you use the money to buy a 4-plex or a triplex to move into, you could do that. If you are the person getting the reverse mortgage, buying something like that, you have no payment on that property you're living in. But of course, you don't want those other people to know you own it. So, because you want to become their friends, and that's that.
Yeah, you don't want to
get a property manager.
Yeah, you don't want them to be calling you at the middle of the night and saying, "Hey, I've got a leak." You want them to call the property manager and let them deal with it.
Exactly.
That's a great strategy, Jay. So we got a real good strategy in there for taking and making some use out of your current equity and not causing you any extra work. Just throw that out there for you. As always,
call Ron. Call Ron because Ron will be able to set you up with the properties, the realtors that have these different properties in different areas to make that best strategy. And on top of it, I know you say strategy beats rate, and that's true. But right now, you've got rate. So put some strategy to it.
Absolutely. As always, thank you for joining us. As always, hit that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean, who are engineers